Hi, all my LGBT friends and others, Christians and non-Christians alike. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to read Revelations 18, but before I do, just kind of to reiterate, in case you can't find my video on my channel, I've done a lot of videos, so it might be a little bit of a chore. So I thought I'd just kind of do a quick update on it. But before I go into that, I wanted to, the chapter, Revelations chapter 18 is what I wanted to read. And so it's not too long, but this is, prior to that, it talks about the chapter 17, talks about the woman arrayed in purple and scarlet. So as you know, the Catholic Church, if you look at all the priests and, the people at the Vatican, or, any of the Catholic Church, they're always arrayed in scarlet and purple, okay? And this is talking about, and there, came one of the seven angels, which had seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither. He's talking to John, okay? And John is seeing this as, that's what Revelation means, to be unveiled. I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, and with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And so he carried me away. All right, so that goes on to talk about the mystery of Babylon. And she is the mystery of Babylon, the great mother of harlots, and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And then I saw her, and I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore dost thou marvel? Why are you marveling, And I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carried her, which had the 7 heads of 10 horns. And so then he goes on, and it talks about the beast that saweth, was, is, not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and they shall dwell on the earth, and shall wonder. And those names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they beheld the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. More like Satan and whoever he's going to inhabit, okay? And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Where does the Vatican sit? On 7 hills, okay, in Italy. Look it up, okay? And the beast that was and is not, and he is the 8th, is of the 7th, and goes into perdition. That's sort of talking about, we're thinking it could be the popes. There's different interpretations of that, all right? And then it goes into the 10 horns, which are, talks about the 10 horns and the beast that has 10 horns. And thou shalt, let's see, and the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings, which have received no kingdoms as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast, okay? And so we have to remember a time and what it's talking about. This is a 7-year tribulation, just prior to it. And so not quite sure how long is an hour exactly off the top of my head. But they have one mind, and they shall give power and strength unto the beast. And they shall make war with the Lamb being Jesus, and the Lamb shall overcome them, and he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are the peoples, the multitudes, the nations, the tongues, okay? So every Catholic, is all over the world. They speak different, they're in different nations, they speak different languages. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, okay? and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And these are 10 kingdoms, okay? And for God hath put into their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So God is using them for his glory. They think they got, the whole plan. They think they're just so all important, But Satan isn't. He's just a little pissant, okay? In God's, and compared to God, okay? So then we go to chapter 18, the fall of Babylon. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and hold of every foul spirit, cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth were waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay, who has all the gold? How many presidents and kings and princes and dignitaries, and wannabes gone to kiss the Pope's ring? Right? Think about it. Okay. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. So, those boils and plagues and illnesses and pestilence and so forth that's going to come upon her. You do not want to be a part of that. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much evil has the Catholic Church actually done? If you think about the Reformation just for one, and then everything after that, and who backed Hitler? Okay, just think about it and pray on it and ask the Holy Spirit to reveal this to you, what's going on right in front of your eyes. And, read between the lines, okay? Also love one another. Try to love one another, okay? And how much she hath glorified herself and lived, this is verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the king of the earth, who has committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her, lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning. They'll be horrified, okay? Standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold, of silver, of precious stones, and pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and thine, and wood, and manner, and vessel of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, fine flour, wheat, beasts, and sheep, horses, chariots, and salves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after her departed from her, and all the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. And the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand far off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust upon their heads, and they cried, and they wept, and they wailed, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein all made rich, and all had ships in the seas by reasons of her costliness, and in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall thy great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of the harpers and the musicians and the pipers and the trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of thy millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. And all the merchants that were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. All nations deceived, okay? And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and all that were slain upon the earth. Okay, so I hope that's loud and clear. I hope that gets through to you guys. I hope my Christian brothers and sisters hear this and listen to what God is saying. Okay? He's not talking about necessarily the poor Catholic child who sincerely believes, who wants to do good, who wants to help other people, who's being loving. Okay, he's not talking about that necessarily. He's talking about those people who run the Vatican, who are, the Jesuits, okay? The people behind, the people who are being evil and have been for a very long time, okay? God will take his revenge out on you one day, very soon. So come out of her, and walk the path that Jesus asked you to walk, and to be loving, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, be loving to one another, help each other, come out of the Catholic Church. It is not a good thing to be a part of it. Find a good Protestant church maybe, perhaps, or just start your own home church. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up because of what has been announced, that, the head rabbi wants to re-erect the third temple, and who is behind that? Who is pushing it? The Pope and the Vatican. And if you don't believe me, look it up, do your homework, okay? All right, love you guys. Bye.